Like, she made me go wash my face in the bathroom while I was crying and thinking, why am I so dark? And I was just thinking, I was just trying to wash away the tan, which was impossible. I was like, okay, this tan needs to go away. And hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Shivangi, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite topic, Indian colorism, that shaped me into the woman I am today. And I am going to divide this video into three parts. First is my childhood, how racist people effed me up because they thought that I'm ugly for my skin tone. Then my teenage, and then I'm an adult now. I'm almost 21. So yeah, in my adulthood. So let's just get started with it. The first thing that I want to talk about is how my childhood shaped me. Because oh boy, oh boy, it was not just my relatives, not my family members, but even kids my age were so racist. So like, they had this fixed notion in their mind: if you're fair skinned, you're beautiful; if you're dark skinned, you're ugly as hell, and you can never play with us. This is why I grew up as a very lonely girl. Nobody ever played with me, and I would just look, from my balcony. I would just look at these kids playing. Sometimes I would go downstairs and look at them so that they would ask me to play, but they never did. And I was just this lonely girl crying, always crying because nobody played with me. And initially, I tried to justify it. I thought that maybe my family had actually shifted into this neighborhood, so I used to think that maybe they are not willing to include an outsider. I'm a newcomer, so maybe they are not ready to accept me. I used to think like that, and I was just 10 years old, okay? But then, no, maybe I was 9, yes. But then I realized, like, slowly my mother talked to their mothers, and asked them, like, my daughter wants to play. So they said, their mothers maybe talked to them, and then they started playing with me. But that's when I realized that the major reason why they never played with me was my skin tone, and is my skin tone, because they used to use a lot of racial slangs, like racist slangs, and they would say things like, why are you so dark skinned, none of us has this skin tone, you look ugly. And these are like 10, 12, 13-year-old kids. So you can see that how Indian colorism has been instilled in everybody's minds. Like, even a child can discriminate people on the basis of their skin tone. So this is why I always felt like an outsider, somebody who is not invited or included in groups or among kids. Or the worst part is that I was never a pick me. I never had a pick me face because I went to a girls' school, and then I am in a women's college right now. So the thing is, I thought that maybe the girls will play with me, but they never did. I wanted to play with them, play ghar ghar, play makeup, but they would always say, no, Anya, we will have to use a lot of compact powder if we play parlor with you. And I was like, bitch, what did you just say? Like, okay. And then I would just go back to my home crying and complaining to my mother that why is my skin tone this, why couldn't I be fair? And then that's how I grew up. But the worst part is, every single time, as if I was already not aware of my skin tone, every single time my relatives would come visit me, they would say things like, hey, why are you not using besan, turmeric, baking soda, Colgate on your skin? And I was just a child, so I could not understand what they were saying at that time. They were like, you need to get fair, you look ugly, girls should be fair skinned, who will marry you? These were some of the things like that was said to me. Every girl who has similar skin tone like me, or who is darker than me, can relate with it, because I was told since childhood that if you are dark, you are ugly. And not just my relatives, in fact media and TV serials had a huge role in this. The thing is, I used to watch TV serials where all the actresses, like, you know, the TV serials where all the actresses were beautiful, fair skinned women. And I grew up thinking that only fair skinned women deserve to be loved. I used to think that only fair skinned women can have a hero, can have a man who will love them. And that's what I grew up thinking actually. And this is one of the reasons I had at some point, although I grew up really confident, but at some point I had a very bad sense of self. I had, you know, this low self-esteem because I used to think that, oh, I do not look like these fair-skinned beautiful girls, so maybe I do not deserve good things in my life. Maybe I do not deserve love. That's what I used to think. It's not even scary to think about. Now I do not think like that now, thankfully. But yeah, this is how Indian colorism can shape you. And people who say that movies or media has no impact on you, I am the real life example. Like, I think every girl can relate with it right now, that we had this very corrupted sense of self. We started hating ourselves at a very young age because we were told we are ugly, maybe for our weight, for our skin tone, and, you know, for our height, for the way we look, for the way we talk. And the fat thing reminds me, I mean, this is so embarrassing to even admit. And this is the worst part, like, of my childhood, where I used to think that if I get fat, I am going to be really ugly. Because I was told that women who are fat, dark skinned, and wear spectacles at the same time. Like if you're a woman who is fat, also dark skinned, and if you wear spectacles, then you're the ugliest woman on this earth. And I am not kidding you, I used to think that if I get fat, then I will be the ugliest woman, because then I already have this dark skin. And I wear spectacles. I wear spectacles since childhood. My eyes don't work. So I used to think that I'll turn into the ugliest woman on this earth. That's why. But the thing that I feared the most happened. Like, in class 9th, I had suddenly gained a lot of weight. And, you know, I had a lot of weight on me. And I lost this weight because of dengue. When I was admitted to a hospital for like 3 days. But then the thing is, I got fat. I was dark skinned and I used to wear spectacles. And I would look myself into the mirror and I would say, what an ugly girl. This is how I used to think. I remember one of my relatives, she literally poked my tummy and said, why are you so fat? Why do you look like an auntie? I was like, hey, maybe don't say things like that to me. And I could not even defend myself. That's how, that's how much I lacked confidence in that time. And this is how I grew up. This was my childhood. But then the thing is, my teenage, I remember a few years back, like 2 to 3 years back, the worst incident happened with me, like about my skin tone, something related to my skin tone. So I went to a relative's home. I won't tell you how am I related to her, but I went to her house, and the first thing she said to me upon entering her house, like, she did not even greet me, say hi, hello, namaste, nothing. The only thing she said to me, ew, you look so ugly. How did you get so tanned? Like, why do you look like a witch? Your hair makes you look so messy. You're so sweaty. You're so tanned. You look really ugly. You're in fact embarrassing me in front of my family. And I was like so hurt. Like, what are you saying? I came here to visit you. I came here because I love you. And this is how you are treating me. And like, she made me go wash my face in the bathroom while I was crying and thinking, why am I so dark? And I was just trying to wash away the tan, which was impossible. I was like, okay, this tan needs to go away. And this is one of the reasons why I got my hair cut. My hair was really long, although I never loved my long hair. That's a different story for some another video. But I got my hair cut, and like this much, then they have grown back. But I got my hair cut because I thought that if I am a dark skinned woman who has long hair and her hair covers her face, then she looks even darker. So yeah, and I was deeply hurt by her statement. But yeah, and this is how I grew up. And if I go talk to my parents about it, they're gonna be like, no, nothing like that has ever happened with you. Like, bro, that is my own experience. How can you negate it on my behalf? And then the thing is, I'm really thankful that now I'm in a women's college, which has given me so much confidence. Like, I cannot even thank my college enough when I say this. Thanks to all the girlies, thanks to all the amazing women. Because when I entered my college, I saw so many women with the same skin tone as me, women with the darker skin tone than me, and I saw them carrying themselves with such confidence that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna copy them. That was like, that's one of the things about my personality. I copy every cool woman I meet. That's what I have. Like, that is my entire personality. I just like to copy cool aspects of different women's personalities. So I thought that, hey, I like these women who do not give a fuck about what they wear. If they wear crop tops, they wear mini skirts without even caring about how their legs look or how their tummy looks. So I started wearing whatever the hell I wanted to wear and never gave a shit about my skin tone since then. So I am really thankful to my college. It's a women's college and it's a really amazing space to be in. So yeah, this is how I grew up. This was a rant sort of video, because Indian colorism is so messed up. The way it just turns you into this person who hates herself, especially with women, because we are told since childhood nobody will marry you. And this is why I grew up thinking that if I'm a dark-skinned woman, nobody is ever going to marry me. But now I have realized that, hey, it's not a guy. It's not the guy who is going to choose me. It's me who will do the choosing part, who will select whom I will marry. I have the agency, I have the autonomy to do that. So yeah, and thanks to feminism. I wake up every day and thank feminism. So yeah, and this is how I grew up. I wish nobody ever go through something like this, but we live in India, and I know millions of girls, millions of even boys are going to suffer from this, though men do not have to suffer as much as women, because we are always reduced to our bodies. We are only our bodies. Nothing except our bodies matter to the society, because they want to use it, they want to control it. So yeah, I just hope that if you are somebody like me, if you are a dark-skinned woman, or if you are a woman who has been shamed for anything, which is every other woman, so here's a big hug. So I just hope we are able to overcome this shitty aspect of our society. Yeah, so this was it for today's video. I hope you all liked it, or if you were able to relate it, I hope you also gain the level of confidence that I have gained. And yeah, bye bye.